Okay, good afternoon and good evening, fellow Ambazonians. It's a privilege to come to you again this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you find yourself. We are at a very important time in our revolution, and I come to you very, very, very excited because I know La Republic is not happy. They keep doing all that they can to take us down. Unfortunately, we are not going down, not without a free and independent Southern Cameroon. So please, I'd like to welcome you. As usual, I'd like to know where you're joining in from. Let me know your location. Let me know your location. And as you join, I want us to break the record of this broadcast today. I know people are hungry out there waiting for what I have to say, especially in regards to events which have taken place recently in Ground Zero. And I come to you to make some clarifications, give you a true picture of what we know. And so please, as you join, go ahead and share the link. Let everybody in your groups, in your WhatsApp, and your Facebook, your Twitter, please let them all know that I am live now. I am sorry. I had to be a little late because I was trying to put everything together. So please, as you join, as usual, go ahead, share the link on your Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and let every Ambazonian who has the means to listen to this, let them come on board. Thank you again for joining. We have about 300 people, almost 300 people in about 3 minutes, 45 seconds. As usual, when they hit the 1,000 number mark, I will come to you with a presentation proper. But please go ahead and hit that share button and invite friends on Ground Zero, especially invite friends wherever they are. Let them join us. I want to formally welcome our viewers on SCBC, on SCTV, on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. You, especially on Ground Zero, I want you to know we appreciate your sacrifice. We appreciate all that you are going through out there for the freedom and independence of our country. I can assure you tonight that we are standing and we will stand. Nothing is holding us back. Nothing is stopping us, not until we take back our country. Nothing, and I mean nothing will hold us back until we have taken our country. Thank you very much for joining. Now let me turn to see. Let me see who is joining and from where. Please let me know your location. I see Paul Bokwe has joined. Wilson Madzong says watching Z Zealous. Say it looks like we are going down when I see the weapon those guys are fighting with. No, my friend, we are absolutely not going down. Remember, I used the word hurricane last week, and I meant it when I say a hurricane is on the way. We are not going down. We're not going anywhere. I see Frida Ngumo watching from Belgium. I see Mopao Dio says from Cape Town. I see George Tando, my guy, watching from Nigeria. Jessica Ade from Los Angeles. Michael Chisawaya, Operation 20,000 what? I don't know what is there. Favor the Son, I see you. Ambe Inyams, I see you. And he says, stop using our contributions for witch hunting our ever secretary. Oh, thank you very much. NS Nkengason, live from Belgium. Thank you. Exodus DX says, hello, Chris. Thank you. Stephen Chofo and Julius Ambe join in the four. Tamenam also join. Moses Tanier, right from my corner here. And I see Martin Ashu join in Kematabong Emecha. Also join. Say, hey, big bro, how are you? Good to see you. Chris Taco, I see you, sir. I also see Hero Roberto, Desmond Fong, Elias Ago Hans Bobo, Ritzy DS. I also see EFG, Lovette Monang, Desmond Fong, Inzi Aloysius Cinda. Please, we are only a little over 500 people right now. And remember, once I need 1,000 people in 10 minutes to begin or to start this broadcast presentation proper. So please hit that share button, hit that share button. Let's grow the numbers. They are not increasing at my pleasure, at my wish. So please go ahead and hit share. I got vital presentation that I bring to you today. This is not a show. This is informative. This is educative. This is something that will build your courage and build your strength to continue standing up for this revolution. So please hit that share button. We are over 600 people right now. Go ahead as you join, hit that share button and invite friends, invite family, wherever that they may be. Let's so I can start the presentation proper. I see Odette, Yaya, joining from Germany, I guess. Kuku Ngwa, I always see you. More for Chris, watching from Oman. Joshua Carr, my little young guy there, I like him. Please, when Joshua Carr is on and broadcasting, I encourage every one of you to listen to him, to watch him. He makes a lot of sense. Watch Joshua Carr. I see Lovett Mona. I think I mentioned that before. Bessem Eno, I see you from Germany. Cody from Ground Zero. Thank you for joining, sir. And I also see Davis E. Talbot. I also see Ngwa Mama, Mume Ndanga Napoleon, Blaze Ayong. I see all of you. Shuyama, John, Prince Henrik. Say, hey, Chris. Yes, I am right here. Thank you for joining. Inter Papi George from Valencia, Spain. Epa Manu Pekin. Say, Epa Manu Pekin. Watching from Ground Zero. Thank you for standing in there and believing in the revolution, Epa. We are almost 800 people in about 9 minutes. Again, some of you joining are not hitting the share button. Please go ahead and hit that share button. Let others join as soon as they can. I also see Pressy Marco Swiss says, Chris, good job. I appreciate your good work. Thank you, Swiss. I appreciate your compliment too. Lizette Big Mommy, I see you. In G Pro, join. NJ Na, say, watching from Great Britain. Walter Boma also join. R Fool also join. I see Temo Kem, somebody I missed that. Ruth Vendosky, again Lovisco, Brownie, Eric, Josh Tando, I mentioned that before. Wenty Westbeck, I see you. I see Collins Banks. Please join. We are almost hitting 900 people in 10 minutes. Please hit that share button right now. Let's get the numbers up. I want to see 2,000 people on this broadcast today. The information I bring to you today is vital to the things that we are hearing out there on Ground Zero, on social media. And I do not come to you with fabrications as they do. I come to you with information you can take to the bank. I come to you with reliable, trustworthy information to you. So please, I'd like to start this with, as usual, at least 1,000 people watching. Thank you. Almost 900 people in 10 minutes, 51 seconds. Let's grow the numbers. Blaze Ayong, thank you. Charlie Ewane, I see you. Hello, Comrade Chris. Ambassador must be free, and nothing will stop that. You are absolutely correct, sir, comrade. We must be free. No other choice. Elias Mbelem, I see you. Amen Ndang, I see you. I also see you. Jimmy Tonga says, joining from a corner I hope you do, and I hope you are alive and strong. Thank you for joining from a corner. I see E.M. Lion Jude join. I also see Hans N.O.N.D. also has joined. Thank you very much. Castro Labisterano, Jarius Tabe, Asongbang Bache, Eric Kum, Chanji Ekuka, Imba Hands, Cuckoo the Blains, yes. And I see Freedom Calls. Davis, listen, if I can't call your name, just know that I can't possibly read every name that is joining. There are thousands of people who are joining the broadcast, and I can't see every name. But I love to call every single name that I can lay my eyes on. So please keep on joining and listing your location. Let me see where you are coming in from. I see Tamon Mac. IG give our guys re-guns, not stick. Thank you. We don't do with sticks. Thank you. Davis Tabot, Carlon, I've mentioned, I call out all of this. Peter J. Insop says, get to my trip to Boya and do your contribution. Make your contribution. Buy your ticket. Blaze Licoy, watching from Paris. I see you, sir. I also see Samuel Aja. I also see Paula B. Men. I see Fisher in King, Julius Ortiz. I see Emilia Gabi, John Monzo, Ekene Mbonde, Henrietta Indum. I see you watching from Houston. Wow, thank you. I see Hero Roberto, Urban Lewis. I also see Z Zelos. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for joining. We have hit 1,100 people in about 13 minutes. And so, while you continue to share the link, I will not hold you any longer. I would like to take you to this broadcast proper. So that please continue to share the link. Continue to share the link as you join. I see Lindowski. I see Frank Hills, Amber Landers, and Amber Lander in Z. Obia Eric, Atta John, my good commentator, Colonel Atta John, I hope you're the one. Thank you for joining, fellow Ambazonians. What lies ahead is pregnant with conspiracies plus surprises. But before I get into that, please permit me crave your indulgence to pay one last tribute to our fallen compatriot, a true pioneer of the revolution and a true warrior, a true soldier of the cause, Comrade Akuma Fro. I knew Comrade Akuma Fro not just as a hero or not just as a fighter, not from a distance as many do. I knew him to the extent we had several long conversations on many occasions about the struggle from his Ecom base in Nigeria. If you do not know him, let me remind you who he was. Comrade Akuma Fro was the one who stood beside Comrade Mancho BBC at Liberty Square in Bamenda last year with a famous empty coffin, the coffin that became the name and the symbol of this revolution. Without any attempt at flattery, I must admit that Comrade Akuma was truly a brave and courageous brother in the struggle. He was one of the first Ambazonian refugees to settle in Nigeria as the regime soldiers in French Cameroon sought to kill him. In exile in Nigeria, he sought no comfort to retire from the struggle, but actively and logistically gave in his all, till he fell suddenly sick and went home to heaven about 2 weeks ago. As Communication Secretary of the interim government, I spent nights, of course, owing to the time difference, talking to Comrade Akuma when he was still standing and fighting. He was always very cheerful, willing and prepared to give his all to the struggle, with the hope that we did get to Buea sooner than later. Like every one of us, he hoped to get there to finally shake hands with the free Mancho BBC and all the other comrades who are under incarceration in French Cameroon. Akuma hoped to get there sooner than later so that his children and ours too would boast of a true Anglo-Saxon education, among other things. Unfortunately, he is now gone too soon before we get to Buea. He was laid to rest last weekend. He is no longer going to be one of those that we shake hands with today in Buea. I would have made him stay a little longer here and not go home so soon if I had that power. If at least to see him stand alongside Comrade Mancho BBC in Buea. But he is gone. On behalf of Acting President Dr. Samuel Sako and the entire interim government of Ambazonia, I say good night. Good night to Comrade Akuma Fro. Your body may have been lowered to its tomb in a faraway country in Nigeria. But we can assure you, we want you to rest assured, your bones will get to Ambazonia once we have landed. Thanks again for your service to Ambazonia. Fellow comrades, in the same spirit of taking care of our own, I want to remind you that it is now over 7 months since our president, Sisiko Julius Ayoktabe and others were abducted in Nigeria and subsequently transferred to Yaoundé, because many are not aware of all the energies that the interim government has put forth to either discover their current location or secure their freedom. Some people are under the impression that this interim government has just forgotten about them. That is absolutely not the case. That is not true. Once Sisiko were relocated to Yaoundé from Nigeria, the interim government hired a team of 15 indigenous lawyers, plus the original lawyers in Nigeria, to work towards securing their release. The team of 15 made appearances before the judge of the Jungle Military Tribunal in French Cameroon, asking to represent the abductees, but the judge refused them representation of the abductees. The lawyers then sought redress in the civilian court, the High Court of Yaoundé. Their petition to represent their leaders was accepted at that High Court. However, when the lawyers later requested to meet with their clients, our leaders, our president and others, being heard with him, the same High Court said that it has no jurisdiction over the matter. About 3 weeks ago, one of the lawyers in Nigeria was again in Yaoundé. But like in the case of the 15 lawyers, he too was denied access to Sisiko and others. The international community remains on the fringes as far as the abductions are concerned, doing very little very little to put pressure on the Paul Biya and Buhari's regimes to produce our leaders. Family members have equally tried to no avail to meet or see any of them. Besides these efforts, the interim government put together a commission to investigate the circumstances leading up to their abduction in Nigeria. Key witnesses who either knew something or were involved in the Naira Hotel meeting were invited to give testimonies to the commission. None of the key witnesses, including Atta Milan and Nalowa B, two people who should have all details surrounding that meeting, refused to cooperate with that commission. The work of the commission has been suspended. In the meantime, the interim government has continued to receive snippets of information from here and there to the effect that Sisiku and others are in certain locations there or here. But without impeccable evidence, we are not able as a government to say with exactitude what their fate is. That is, whether they are even still alive or not. It was pursuant to this background work that the interim government has carried out in effort to get to the bottom of this abduction crisis at all costs, that acting president Dr. Sako came out last week with a bounty for any person or persons who will come up with faultless information disclosing to us what actually happened in Naira Hotel, who sponsored that meeting in Naira Hotel, why people involved in the meeting have refused to talk, and the present location and state of health of our leaders. $5,000 has been set aside for any person, be you civilian or military, or group of persons who will want to come up with verifiable information as to the location and health condition of Sisiku and others. And another $10,000 has also been set aside for any person or group of persons that will give us impeccable evidence surrounding the holding of the Naira Hotel meeting. We hope that by doing this, we should at least get to a closure on the question of who sold our leaders. Ambazonians deserve to know. They deserve the right to know it. And we will not rest until those who are covering up or sitting on the plot or scheme are all exposed, even if it means raising the amount of the ransom. And one thing I should make here or clarify here, which is very, very important, is that these ransom payments have nothing to do with my trip to Boya funds. Patriotic Ambazonians, sympathetic to the families of the abductees, approached the interim government and offered to pay for the ransom should people come forward with credible information leading to the clarification of this situation. So I just want to say the IG is always supervising the project. The payments are coming from concerned citizens of Ambazonia. If you live in Cameroon or in Nigeria or anywhere in the diaspora and have any knowledge about the abductions and the meeting in Naira Hotel and the current location of our leaders, you may make some money for yourself if you will come forward to volunteer the information in your disposal. And you can trust that your identity will forever remain classified. Should you supply us with information that leads to the uncovering of the mask behind the Nera Hotel abductions. And now to the most current issue of the day. Between yesterday, Sunday, and today, Monday, many videos and audios emerge, purportedly from ground zero, with very inaccurate and inappropriate allegations aimed at slander and sabotage on the Ambazonia Self-Defense Council and the interim government. And as far as defense issues are concerned, I will not speak for the ASC. They shall be issuing a press statement that throws light into the allegations in those social media audios and video footages. But I want you to know the interim government would like to assure every Ambazonian that my trip to Boya project remains very much on course. It is being executed exactly as planned. Funds have not been diverted. They are not being diverted, and they will not be diverted. President Sako promised that French Cameroon will hear from us. We have also promised a hurricane, hear me, a hurricane is on the way. Whatever that means, we implore to take back our country, Ambazonia. We are going to do it. It is coming. The interim government and the Ambazonia Self-Defense Council are working 24/7 to ensure the safety and security of our people against La République du Cameroun forces who continue to carry out ethnic cleansing in our territory. We are in tough times. We are at war that was declared by Paul Biya against us. The interim government is working tirelessly with friendly countries, and the ASC is doing same to ensure that our people in our country is free, their property are safe, and of course, ultimately, get rid of all La République du Cameroun military and administrators in all of Ambazonia. Fellow Ambazonians, we must remain composed, resolved, and determined. Stay vigilant. Shut your ears to audios without faces and without names behind them. The enemy, La République du Cameroun, is desperate, and it is using all agents within and without this struggle to try to kill our morale and bring in fatigue so that we abandon ship. Please, please listen to me today. I wish I could tell you certain things here and now. But listen, we are stronger than when we first started. I can assure you that. In the past few days, I don't know if you have observed this sensation. There has been a drastic increase of the number of fake Facebook profiles of people who claim to be part of our restoration movement. We have been able to identify 3 categories of such profiles. Number 1, or the first, is made up of people assigned to mount up pressure on the interim government, and they have been very engaged in the past 1 week. And even now, as I speak, you can know them by their comments, the comments you are reading right here, right now from them. They basically want the interim government to be in a rush and to act without proper planning and strategy. The second group is made up of people mainly assigned to run down the interim government and to discredit it with the ultimate goal of slowing our journey to Boya. But then there is a third, and that third group is made up of people who have been sending inbox messages to activists and members of the interim government requesting for information about who to contact on ground zero in order to assist the foot soldiers. Fellow Ambazonians, The devil we have been dealing with for the past 57 years. La République du Cameroon is going to any length to make sure that we don't get to Boya. I am appealing to you today to despise and ignore all such people who sit behind their computers and create fake profiles to use in killing this revolution. Your interim government is too strong and too tough to fall for cheap blackmail and any form of pressure from whosoever and for whatever purposes. We must, as individuals, do our own assignments. From today, from now, begin to identify such profiles, such people, and block them immediately. Yes, if that, begin the campaign right now. Operation Block. Block every fake profile that is trying to push, betray your platform. This interim government remains steadfast and consistent in its mission. I can assure you that we shall act at the right time with the right instruments put together, and it isn't going to be long. Let me ask you a rhetorical question now. Of all the groups out there, of all the groups that are out there, claiming to be working for our restoration, including this interim government, which of them has the potential to bring this revolution to an end following the attacks, all the attacks out there? Of course, it is the interim government. That is why the social media is full of surrogates and enemies of the interim government who feel like if they can just step up their attacks a little bit, a little more on the interim government, that it will fall and they will take over. They will hijack it and keep us and have the Republic of Cameroon keep us as slaves. That is not going to happen. This interim government is not being intimidated, will not be intimidated or rush into any unplanned projects or ventures. They want to push the interim government to fail. That's all that they are trying to do. It is the agenda. Unfortunately, the interim government is made up of real men, not amateurs. The interim government is stronger, absolutely in control, and made up of men and women who cannot be bought or bribed. We have made many mistakes, including that on a Kema Patrick announcement, and we will still make many such, but they are teaching moments, and we are learning from them. There may be thorns on the way, but you know what? We will get to Boya. Again, we will get to Boya. Now let me get to other crucial issues of the moment. Fellow Amazonians, this war is ours to lose. The tables are turning. French Cameroon is finally beginning to bend. Their offers are drying out. Their coffers are drying out. They are resorting to the so-called elite. Southern Cameroon being asked to raise money among themselves to fight against their own people. One of such meetings took place last week in the office of Philemon Yang, and another one by Manuel Elliott. Infotabe Tando was particularly heard fuming and swearing a clean wipe out of his own people in Manu County. In Boya, Lebielem Elliott, led by Paul Tarson, promised getting Lebielem people out of the bushes for at least the first time, in quote. In Oko, Philemon Yang is recruiting people to win his clan for Paul Biya. And if it means a cleansing of the people, he is just fine with it. In Hindu, the people have become under consistent attacks in their own homes at night, with lots of destruction to property, women traumatized, and children too. These schemes are perpetrated by a desperate French Cameroon, agents and soldiers to demoralize our people. There are other big plots that the Republic of Cameroon is planning, like carrying out full-scale assault from both the air and ground on whole communities that have taken up refuge in the bushes. In urban and semi-urban areas where people still live in, the French Cameroon regime is about implementing a long-term project that should track down outspoken Ambazonians and advocates of a free Ambazonia. La République du Cameroon is implanting plainclothes military personnel in the neighborhoods to take up residence like regular tenants in the southern Cameroons. They will infiltrate our people, sneak in on their conversations, and then forward the messages or the conversations to the hierarchy that will then come and arrest them. Landlords in all major cities and towns in Ambazonia are therefore put on the alert. They are warned. Do not accept anybody or tenant in your house who isn't a verified Ambazonian. Make sure identities of any new tenants are meticulously checked. If they have French names or French accent or struggle to speak English, or should they have looks any different from an Ambazonian, immediately call the attention of the restoration forces. If, however, you take in a new tenant before realizing or suspecting that he or she is an informant, please secretly alert the restoration forces too, who should take proper care of that tenant. Everybody has to be alert. Women especially and girls should be very much watchful. They can be very susceptible to situations such as these. And be careful to who you speak to in beer parlors, in bars, in nightclubs, in any gathering. Do not open up. Do not talk about this revolution. Do not talk about Ambazonia to anyone you cannot identify or anyone you don't know. Girls going out should be very, very rigorous. Girls going out to look for tenancy should be rigorously checked also, because they will use young girls to infiltrate or penetrate the landlords. And when they have your tenancy, you must keep them on the watch, or you must keep watch on them. Keep watch on everyone who is a tenant of yours. While the Republic of Cameroon is on a free fall, having its back on the wall, it is not about to give up yet on having us stay with them as their slaves. We have recent intelligence that the Republic of Cameroon now plans on freeing Sisiko and others very, very soon. They hope to follow it up with a withdrawal of their soldiers from our territory. In exchange for the gesture, they will ask us to withdraw our restoration and self-defense forces and ask them to lay down their arms and return to normal life. They will then resort to the Peter Musonge's commission, calling for dialogue with a four-state federation on the table as a solution to this conflict. This very, very, very latest information, current information. Now, let's not forget that they have recently called off scheduled parliamentary and municipal elections. In the same vein, presidential elections remain uncertain in French Cameroon. They plan on holding this dialogue. They plan on holding this dialogue thing before moving forward with the elections. So finally, they are coming to terms with the fact that Kabahi Jibri's 2 cubes of sugar are not melting. And Federation which Issa Chiroman and the entire cabinet of Paul Biya vowed will never be on table, are now on table, finally. But the problem is that it is their table, not our table. Two things that they are looking for are not on our table. Dialogue is not on our table. Federation is not on our table. Not even a two-state federation is on our table. What we have on our table is mediation, not dialogue. Total independence as opposed to any form of federation. This is to say that what they have in their game plan is a non-starter. It is dead on arrival. Fellow Amazonians, if we settle for any form of federation as a solution to this conflict, we will be left to fight again someday. Let me remind you today that La République du Cameroon has an embedded game plan in its newfound love for federation. That plan involves an official policy that will resettle Francophones, especially in the southern zone. They call it repopulation. Now, I'm sure some of you have come across that from the Ministry of Agriculture in French Cameroon. They call it repopulation. Now, the only place to be repopulated is the southern Cameroons. This will be done in the guise of promoting agriculture. The regime promises financial subsidies to people who want to move to settle in the southern zone for agriculture, and recruitment is in fact currently going on. The paper is out there, the release, the statement is out there. Now, mainly Francophones are being recruited. They will be paid to go settle or live in Indian, Meme, and Fako. Once they are established with their families, they will formally or officially be called by French Cameroons Anglophones or Ambazonians. But their allegiance will not be to Ambazonia or the Southern Cameroons, it will be to French Cameroon. Now, just imagine what becomes of that population in the next 30 to 40 or 50 years. It would have been more than quadruple. The wisdom behind the scheme is that at that moment, you won't be able to even talk about federation, because La République du Cameroon within the 30 years would have begun to take back anything they are conceding now, piecemeal by piecemeal. And that's exactly what they did years ago to get us under their yoke. Remember, from La République du Cameroon to Federal Republic of Cameroon, then to United Republic of Cameroon, and back to La République du Cameroon. This is exactly what is behind their current love and flirtation for federation. Ambazonians, this is not the time to blink our eyes to the plans of French Cameroon. They have the right to offer what they want, but we also have same right to deny what they offer. The choice is ours to make. An independent Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia, with headquarters in Boya, must remain our one and only option. We must live free or fight until victory shows up. Thanks for listening today. And before I go, I just want to remind every one of you out there, especially on Ground Zero. We heard the other day the announcement by Paul Biya instructing his cabinet to prepare a special humanitarian visit to the refugee camps in Nigeria, where Ambazonians they drove out of their own country are currently residing. I got a message for La République du Cameroon as far as that project is concerned. Any official, any government official from La République du Cameroon or French Cameroon who plans on certain food in any of that refugee camp, I can assure you, you will meet your Waterloo in those camps. Yes, you will meet your Waterloo in those camps. That is called trespassing. Where on earth do the country that refugees is running from ever plotted to go visit those refugees? It doesn't exist anywhere under United Nations status. We are still very much aware of that circular signed and passed and sent out by the so-called senior divisional officer for Manual, asking everybody to leave. Those that did not leave saw the wrath of French Cameroon soldiers descending on them, descending on their homes, descending on their farms, and getting them out of their homes. How can they now say, we want to go visit them? We have to go visit them. You are not welcome. If you are coming, you are sure to meet your own Waterloo. Again, thank you for watching today. God bless you. God bless Amazonia. Again, we will fight, and we will fight until victory is on the horizons. Good night.